Okay, we have reached the end of WWE's 2017 schedule, and now I'm finally getting into it. So after heavy debate, I was debating on who I should talk about first, Bray Wyatt or Braun Strowman. Since Braun Strowman confirmed that he is, quote, Vince's project, I decided to go with Bray Wyatt, who is in no way related to Vince whatsoever because... Okay, remember how 2014... 2013 was a mixed bag for Bray Wyatt's debut year in WWE main rosterville, and okay, that happens sometimes. Like, you don't get an AJ Styles kind of year. And then Bray Wyatt was starting to get huge momentum when he defeated Daniel Bryan and ending the storyline he had with him in a great fashion. And then he defeated The Shield in a 6-man tag team match, which should have been more feuds, more matches later down the road. However, they were no longer connected with a storyline. They were just there because they knew fans loved it. And then WrestleMania 30 happened. And then everything starts to fall apart. The culmination of it ended at Extreme Rules in that horrible steel cage match that I don't like talking about because if I talk about it more, I'm going to be pissed off again. So look forward to that video if I ever wanted to go back to it. Well, a lot of people would say 2014 was Bray Wyatt's worst year ever because he was out on a hot rise and then he just went to a downward spiral because John Cena doesn't like to put people over. Or Vince just hates Bray Wyatt because he's a Dusty Road creation and not his. Well, I can't believe I have to say this. I really can't. 2017 has surpassed it. Yeah, it was that bad. Now, it's not to say it was horrible. We're not saying that everything of his year was bad. Like, you could say his one feud win at Wrestle back in, what, 2016 or 2015? No, wait. Yeah, it was 2015. His one feud that actually ended with a success was between Bray Wyatt... Wait. Yeah, it was 2015. I was just remembering. It was Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family versus, well, ECW extremists. Those were the only 2 feuds he actually won in 2015. Now, you could say that the rest in between was a huge factor, but here's the thing. He was never given the chance to showcase his true potential. He could have gotten it if he'd been the one to retire The Undertaker. However, Roman Reigns gets that honor because fuck putting more talent over even though you shoved everything down Roman Reigns' throat. And ours. So, what makes this year so bad for Bray Wyatt? Makes 2017 the worst? Specifically, the good stuff that happened in the early months. You see, after the end of 2016, Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family had lost the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, also known as Wyatt's first ever championships in wrestling in the WWE, or at least in the main roster. He had won some tag team titles in FCW, but those were tag team titles. And this started, and Harper and Orton were getting on each other's nerves, hating each other. Basically, Harper was that guy who wanted the attention of his dad or his father figure, but his older brother was overshadowing him. So Wyatt ordered a match to be made where Harper and Orton would fight, and Wyatt kept getting involved and trying to make sure that it didn't end with a double countout because these two were bent on killing each other. And then when Orton defeated Harper, Wyatt just hugged Harper and then delivered Sister Abigail to him, exiling him from the group. And then on January 29th, Wyatt entered the Royal Rumble match as the 21st participant and lasted till the final 3 before being sadly eliminated by Roman Reigns. And I'll get to that when I do, because besides The Undertaker, there was actually another reason why he was put in that match. And surprisingly, it's not related to Samoa Joe or Finn Balor. Like, originally they wanted to have Finn Balor be in that match, but he was still hurt. They thought he could come back in time, but he couldn't. So, and ultimately Orton wins the Royal Rumble match, and Everyone was pissed off by that. Like, people were mad. Like, they were glad Reigns didn't win. I understand that. But I really was hoping Wyatt would win this match. Mostly because it would have been perfect. Like, it would have kickstarted this huge feud with eventually... Like, but luckily... 2 weeks later, WWE Champion John Cena, for some reason, is given the 16th title reign, even though it only lasted for 2 weeks. Making this entire thing pointless. Yeah, you would think if Cena's been given his 16th title reign, he would get something big out of it, but really? It was just, oh, well, we need Cena to win the title because, you see what happened at Elimination Chamber? It would be impressive if Wyatt defeated him. Yeah, that was the reason why. Because they wanted Cena to look... Okay, so at Elimination Chamber, Bray Wyatt had defeated John Cena, AJ Styles, The Miz, Dean Ambrose, and Baron Corbin in an Elimination Chamber match at Elimination Chamber to capture the WWE Championship for the first time in his career and his first singles title in professional wrestling overall. So, let's see if I get this straight. If Roman Reigns did the same thing... Oh, wait, he did. He first won the tag team titles with Seth Rollins, but when he went out to the WWE Championship, everyone howled saying he needs to win the mid-card title. Okay, then how do you explain Bray Wyatt? You wanted him to win the WWE title so much, but even before when he was contending for it, he didn't have a title under his name. They don't acknowledge his FCW days because that's when he was still Husky Harris or Rotunda. And they don't want to mention that whatsoever. But the reason why John Cena won that title was to make Wyatt look strong. Though this does lead to a rather important question. Why didn't they just do what they did in the match? Have Wyatt pin... Like, okay, in the match, Wyatt defeats Cena and pins him. Then he fights Styles for a couple of minutes and pins him. Why not just switch them? Like, Styles retains the WWE title at Royal Rumble, then loses it, then gets defeated by Bray Wyatt at the Elimination Chamber, and then it's just down to him and down to Wyatt and Cena, which honestly would make sense. And I kept calling this moment Wyatt's Revenge after several years of screw jobs by Cena, screw jobs by Vince, screw jobs by Dunn, because he dare be different. He dare not be a Vince creation. He dare not kiss up to them. He dare not do a thing about it. He dare express his opinion regarding the fact he wanted to fight Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and so did Lesnar. Yeah, everyone's still mad about that, but let's be honest, that would have failed miserably. And would have given Wyatt his third official loss in a row. I'll get to that in a moment. So, anyways. Wyatt this was awesome. Like, I loved that Wyatt had defeated these two guys who Vince loved favorably, mostly Cena. Styles is a different factor. He's too popular for his own good that Vince can't do a thing about it. So if they buried him, then that would be a problem with fans. So, yeah, the fact that Wyatt got his revenge on Cena after several years of screw jobs by him, it was very cathartic. It was awesome. I loved it. And I was like, yes! He's finally done it, man! He's finally won the gold! The most prestigious title in all of WWE! And then Bray Wyatt cuts a promo on the SmackDown Live after the pay-per-view, where he just says this, I have the whole damn world in my hands! Which was awesome. And of course, John Cena has to go ahead and say, you don't deserve that belt, you have to earn it and whatnot. And like, yeah, Cena, when it comes to earning things, you did do that at once upon a time, but you kind of got a little egotistical and channeled your inner Hulk Hogan. So yeah, do not talk to us and talk to him about earning things, since you clearly feel like you deserve all of these said things and will screw anybody who gets in your way, unless they're Ryan Ward, who has the balls to say, yeah, we're not doing things your way. We're doing things our way, what these younger guys want, what these new crop of superstars that's coming in want. Which I'm pretty sure was one of the contributing factors why he got demoted later on after WrestleMania, which still pisses me off. Because he dared to do too much of a good job and say, hey, you know what? It's all about you youngins over there. Rest in peace, Angry Grandpa. So, yeah, that was still sad when I heard the news. Rest in peace. Yeah. So, moving on. Wyatt had defeated Styles and Cena clean. Like, okay, Styles got attacked by Harper, but he pinned Cena clean. He managed to beat them both clean. And, like, yeah, that was awesome. Then Orton came to the ring, pledging allegiance to Wyatt and refusing to face him at WrestleMania 33. And then it was leading to confusion of what are they going to do? Are they going to do Styles? And then, like, everyone was speculating, oh, is Harper going to get involved at WrestleMania? Like, that was a considered plan at one point. Or is Styles going to actually get a chance to fight Bray Wyatt in the main event? Oh, that's going to be awesome. And here's the thing I found out. They were really debating about Luke Harper being in the main event. Like, Ryan Ward wanted it, Vince didn't want it, Triple H was caught in the middle, but Vince ultimately won his little debate because, I don't know, screw putting newer talent in the main event because you screwed everyone else over. So, yeah, and also, NRE had published this rule book, and let's be honest, they probably broke it like 500,000 times, even before it was written. So, yeah. And they tried to say, and I'm not kidding, they tried to say that because Orton is revoking his Royal Rumble clause, that means the person who was the last person before Orton, that was the last man to get eliminated, is technically the winner. And should earn the right. Remember how I mentioned Roman Reigns was that said last guy in the Royal Rumble before being eliminated? Okay, so Vince just basically downright said, okay, we know Orton revoked his clause in the Royal Rumble condition until he renewed it. That means Roman Reigns actually was the winner for like 2 weeks. Oh, God. Like, oh, God, that logic makes no sense to Vince, and it makes no sense to me. However, luckily, that really just doesn't really count in the archives of WWE.com. I'm surprised they didn't order that changed. So, it's revealed Orton was lying about this whole thing, and he burned down and destroyed the Wyatt family compound, committing arson. Even if it was a closed-out property, he was seen committing arson, even if the place has been abandoned. I mean, like, if Psych can do arson and say that it's still illegal, even though the building was scheduled to be demolished to an extent. But, yeah, you didn't, yeah, therefore it's committing arson. Yeah, so, Orton commits arson, he gets rewarded the WWE Championship. Much to Wyatt's horror and dismay that his precious compound where the spirit of Sister Abigail is buried. Okay, now, this is where you either think the build-up was good or the build-up went totally out of left field. You see, there were some okay moments, but I was like, the moment we saw Bray Wyatt break down in tears, seeing something he cares about destroyed right in front of him, or broadcast to him, you would think that he would turn face, because Orton did technically commit a crime, and Bray Wyatt, it was his home. It's the one place he has lived all his life in his character storyline, and Orton just steps in and says, hey, I'm going to destroy this and commit arson, so yeah, I might be committing a crime, but I'm going to go after you at WrestleMania. And I was really hoping Bray Wyatt when I actually started having matches where he just goes ballistically insane and like just sits in the corner, like trying to like going through a Machiavellian scheme like thing, thinking how he wants to basically kill Orton so much badly. And yeah, here's the weird thing: they don't really seem to let Wyatt compete at all during the final month before WrestleMania. Like, they did do that at WrestleMania 31, they did do that at WrestleMania 32, and they did do that at WrestleMania 33. Like, they're afraid if he gets injured in between, even though they let other wrestlers who are competing get in the ring, but somehow not get hurt sometimes. So, yeah, I'm just wondering why. So, yeah. And they didn't do what I hoped what he was going to do, like the whole psychotic state he's going through, a metamorphosis of sort, where he just basically wants to maim and maul anyone who gets in his way, and he's basically picturing those guys as Orton because his mind is so focused on Orton. He feels like he's going to try and kill Orton in that ring right now, except it's just a poor victim of his psychotic madness. I was hoping for that. They didn't do that. They just went over the top campy and whatnot. So, okay, I forgave them for that so long as Wyatt wins at WrestleMania 33 and maintains his dominance. He lost. His reign was only 49 days, and they cut it short. And he suffers his third consecutive WrestleMania loss in the process. Okay. If I hear that bullshit excuse that Barrett said that Vince gave him where, oh, we need to start having some happy endings, considering The Undertaker's gonna go out in an emotional way, that would never work. That backfired horribly. Like, really bad. I ran on a huge rant in my WrestleMania 33 video. Everyone got pissed off at that. Everyone wanted to see Wyatt win. Everyone wanted to see him have a long reign as WWE Champion. And especially, he would have most likely been with that title for this entire year and not Jinder Mahal. But at the same time, Vince wanted to get India's approval and everything, which failed miserably. But imagine if Bray Wyatt was still WWE Champion heading into December and was that Clash of Champions. I would have been perfectly fine if he lost it there. Because he would have had a long reign as champion. He had a WrestleMania victory. He was getting storylines left and right. He was being awarded these awesome moments for all that hard work. And he would have lost to the guy who wanted to fight Wyatt for the title. That would have been really symbolic and really good at this. They could have done something, but no, it just gives the middle finger to everybody saying, fuck you, fuck Wyatt, fuck Ryan Ward, fuck NXT, fuck Triple H, fuck him in the North, fuck him in the South. Because, I don't know, why wasn't Vince's direct creation? It's a Dusty Rhodes, it's an NXT, it's a Triple H, it's a Bray Wyatt creation. Or is he still pissed off that Husky Harris, when he was still Husky Harris, poked Cena in the eye, tried to fire him because, oh, he didn't apologize enough. And I'm like, what more do you want from... Well, yeah, I want to get to that. Okay. Two things. Husky Harris didn't mean to poke Cena in the eye like that. He thought he was just trying to sell that, I'm a bad guy, I'm supposed to do bad guy things. Didn't Roddy Piper do that a lot? And the whole BS excuse saying, you're not apologizing hard enough. And I'm like, what more does he need to do? Does he need to get on his knees, kiss Cena's foot, or something like that? I mean, like, I know this was a time when you were so giving Cena everything he wanted, and you still technically are, since there are word that he might win Royal Rumble and main event WrestleMania again. Yeah. or bury Braun Strowman, but that's a different matter. But yeah, Vince wanted to fire Husky Harris for daring to harm his precious Cena. But Triple H said, no. Here's the idea. Don't fire him. This kid has potential. Let me take him under my wing. Let me take him back to FCW or NXT. We're going to rebrand that in a couple of years. And let me do something with him. I see potential in this kid. He's going to go places. And I was like, so let's see if I get this straight. Bray Wyatt's creation directly is responsible by Triple H. And Vince knows that. He can't stand that, most likely. Is that the reason? Is that the reason why you hate this guy so much? Because he wasn't your direct creation? And because he poke someone in the eyes even though he's trying to sell the fact he's a villain? And even though he directly apologized, yet Vince is like, no. That wasn't hard enough. You need to apologize better, even though you could not really do anything other than kiss his feet. I mean, like, this is like... And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because Shinsuke Nakamura had the same problem. He apologized to Cena. Cena said it was okay when Nakamura accidentally made Cena land on his neck in a German suplex, but Vince, being an idiot, decides to be offended for Cena, even though Cena wasn't at all offended. He accepted Nakamura's apology. So why? Why does he live like this? How does he operate still? But yeah, okay. So Wyatt lost at WrestleMania, again, and the title, but I was like, okay, they're building up to a House of Horrors match, and they admitted that they didn't know what they were doing. They just wanted to come up with that name because it sounded cool. It didn't. So I was like, okay, so it's going to be for the WWE title. Okay, let's hope that this ends with Wyatt regaining the title and moving forward to recontinue his reign and get better booking. Then on April 10th, it was revealed that he was moving to Raw as part of the Superstar Shakeup. Vince, this is why I fucking hate you sometimes. And why so many people are sick of you. Like, the second he was told, hey, White, I know you're supposed to have a rematch for the WWE title at Payback. I mean, at the next pay-per-view at SmackDown, not Payback. But we want to trade you to Raw, even though we had a plan for you, because Vince is kind of an idiot sometimes. Like, why didn't you just left after that? He should have just packed his bags and left. Like, Neville left because he was being treated unfairly. He didn't want to go to the Cruiserweight division. He thought he was a big deal. He was treated as a big deal in NXT, and now Vince is like, no, he's going to be Mighty Mouse parody. Luckily, that didn't happen. No, he's small, therefore he can go to the Cruiserweight division. So, oh, and we're not paying him merchandise money regarding WrestleMania Kickoff because it wasn't on the DVD, so we're going to fuck him for that. Okay. Why'd set up this match for the title? Not really do it. Just screw it up. And here's the thing. WWE, after Superstar Shakeup was over, sent out a survey asking, what would you like to see in the House of Horrors match? As if to say, yeah, we don't know what we're doing with this match. We honestly don't know. And this leads me to say, well, considering that you had like about 2 months to build to this thing and come up with an idea, and the fact that Vince, being an idiot, decides to put Bray Wyatt on Raw, a place where he will not be over again because they'll screw him over big time, and now you have less of a chance to come up with something, and you have less time to do so. Yeah, I think I think the writers should have just protested after that. So, yeah, Bray Wyatt went ahead, moves to Raw, and hints that he's going to fight Finn Balor, which would be awesome. I will get to that later. Yeah. But at Payback, Wyatt had his House of Horrors match. It sucked. I didn't really not care for this. And I'm just wondering, like, I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to basically pull the Delete or Decay match. Like, remember that Wyatt compound match they had with the New Day, with the Wyatt family and the New Day? Yeah, that was clearly trying to rip off Final Deletion. And then House of Horrors was supposed to be Delete or Decay. But here's the big problem. Vince doesn't seem to understand this. He just heard that there was an absurd segment, and he decides to make it more serious than instead of over-the-top wackily insane, like Matt Hardy's character is supposed to be. So, yeah, I get why he's insane. He's supposed to be insane, but so is Matt Hardy. So, wait, why can't you do something overly the top crazy that also fits Bray Wyatt's character but not make it overly serious? Like, you can do something stupid, right? You can do something funny and entertaining. Rusev Day's getting over, and I'll get to that later. So, yeah, Bray Wyatt finally gets a victory over Orton, but sadly he doesn't get back the WWE title because he's moved to Raw. And unfortunately, he gets help from Jinder Mahal, making his entire, 8-month storyline he had with Orton a placeholder for Jinder Mahal. Yeah, that sets up a priority. So, after all that was done, Bray Wyatt made his debut on Raw officially on May 1st and told General Manager Kurt Angle not to interfere with his work. You know, that would actually be serious and interesting if Wyatt was not being horribly mutilated by creative. And since he's on Raw, he has less of a chance to get over. So, Wyatt and Samoa Joe interfered in the main event later that night between Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and The Miz to decide the new #1 contender for Dean Ambrose's IC title. And Wyatt attacked Balor, Samoa Joe attacked Seth Rollins, enabling Miz to pin him for the win. And the following week, Wyatt defeated Ambrose after interference from The Miz. And then he was set up to fight in a fatal 5-way match with Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. However, he failed to win, though he did do some good stuff with Samoa Joe, and I was honestly wishing they went to a tag team route. Because, let's be honest, he's not going to do anything. So, yeah. And after his Extreme Rules Fatal 5-Way match, Wyatt would then engage in a rivalry with Seth Rollins after the unveiling of Rollins on the cover for 2K18 this year. Yeah. And he defeated Rollins twice in a singles matches at the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view and the following Raw respectively. Yes, Wyatt has the advantage? Oh god, imagine how the storyline's gonna go. Nope, it's done. Yeah, just stop it. Seth Rollins even admitted that this was originally supposed to last till SummerSlam. They just stopped it. Why? Why did they stop it? Was it because Wyatt was winning? That has to be the reason. I get they were trying to set up the Shield reunion, but come on, they could have delayed that for a month. And considering how the Shield reunion turned out, yeah, I think it would have been best if they just never went with it, considering what happened. So, yeah, Wyatt gets screwed over, so his feud with Rollins is pointless now. Way to go, Vince. You somehow made a feud where he wins, technically, mean absolutely nothing, like you did with Ryback versus Wyatt, which only lasted one match at Ryback gets the IC title. I will never understand him, will I? So afterwards, Wyatt would begin targeting Balor, and I was like, okay, yeah, well, maybe this will be the feud that gets interesting. He caused Balor a no DQ match against Elias Sampson on July 24th. Wyatt defeated Balor in on Raw before SummerSlam and poured a bucket of blood-like substance on him after the match, which surprised me because Vince would have gone with, think of the children, the goddamn children, damn it! And Balor goes in and says, I got my demons too, afterwards, and returns the demon character. So Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor have their match. It sucked. Long-term wise, it sucked. There was nothing really gained out of this. Like, we got Finn Balor doing an awesome entrance as the demon, but nothing else. Wow, that was sad. Yeah. Then Bray Wyatt disappears on the Raw after SummerSlam, and then a week later, he interferes in the 15-man Battle Royale for the Miz's Intercontinental Championship, eliminating Balor. Uh-huh. So, yeah, this set up a rematch at No Mercy for Wyatt and Balor. And Wyatt saying he wants to fight him as the human, not the demon. Yeah, because that would have been too interesting. And Wyatt attacked Balor prior to the match, goaded him into a fight after being almost escorted to the back by the medical team. Okay, so Balor won at SummerSlam, so clearly Wyatt's going to win. Nope, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't win this match. Wyatt loses. Again. This is why I was mad when he was being sent to Raw. At least SmackDown, he had a chance, even after he lost at WrestleMania. But no. We can't do that. He needs to lose every feud, and if he somehow does win a feud, we gotta erase it and stop it as quickly as possible. So, yeah. And then leading up to TLC, we got the dumbest storyline ever given to Bray Wyatt, and the dumbestly insulting thing I have ever seen in my entire livelihood in Bray Wyatt's career. Bray Wyatt turns into Norman Bates. Oh, now, I get Norman Bates is a very popular character in the world of horror, but it's not that. It's more like, yeah, they just bastardized him and made him wear a hood and speak in an electronic, monotone, auto-toned woman voice and say, oh, this is Sister Abigail, and wear black and white face paint. Yeah. And yeah, we're all pissed off at that. So this would lead to the obviously going to be a disaster of a match between Wyatt and Balor. Sister Abigail versus the Demon at TLC, and no one would have cared. We all would have just mocked it, laughed at it, and just felt sad that Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor have been reduced to this. However, on October 20th, it was announced that Wyatt would not be competing against Balor due to illness and was replaced by SmackDown's AJ Styles. Now, people were wondering, it was said it was due to illness. Well, turns out around this time, a lot of the guys were getting sick. Let's see. And speaking of Bray Wyatt, he had a huge problem with his personal life. He, was married. He cheated on her with JoJo. They ended in divorce. He no longer can see his two children, so my respect for why Bray Wyatt went down a huge peg. I'm like, we don't have confirmation that Cena did that with Nikki Bella and when he was still married, but people still speculate about that, and I'm not going to get into that stuff. Though I will mention Total Divas, he is portrayed kind of a jerk and overly paranoid over the fact that one relationship failed, so he doesn't want to have children because of it. Like, come on, man. Just come up with a better reason. Like, maybe you could say because the world is a fucked up place and you just don't want your children to go through it like you did. Yeah, that doesn't really relate to Cena. That's just like, just come up with another reason that is not saying, oh, well, I'm still butthurt that my wife left me. Even though it's kind of hinted at by people that I cheated on her, so I don't see what I did wrong. Yeah, I'm not getting into the whole, did Cena have an affair with Nikki Bella against his wife, and that led to everything becoming nasty. I'm like, the timing was weird when they went public with their relationship, Nikki and Cena, a month after the divorce. Yeah, that's why everyone kind of still wonders about that to this day. So, moving on. After Bray Wyatt got sick, it was revealed that he, JoJo, Bo Dallas, and Roman Reigns, however, those two were given more priority because no one cares about those two for some reason. Yeah, they never gave it what it was. They never gave what the illness was, but it was revealed that it was either the mumps or laryngitis, or a very advanced form of laryngitis, which was affecting their head, that was swelling their brain. I think that was it, or I could be wrong, but it was said to be either that or the mumps. So, yeah, and October was not a great time to be in the WWE. As I mentioned, Neville left, Jimmy Jacobs was fired over bullshit, Vince is tightening his evil grip by restricting the Too Sweet gesture because God knows the outside wrestlers do it, even though he has no legal say to trademark a hand gesture, because it'd be fucking stupid if they did that. Of course, Vince has to do that. So Wyatt would be gone for a couple of weeks. He will return on November 13th episode of Raw to face Jason Jordan, and he loses. Okay, at least they're not mentioning the Sister Abigail shit. So, yeah, and then Bray Wyatt, being pissed off that he lost, because I'm pretty sure he should have snapped by now in terms of real life, attacked Jason Jordan, injured his leg, and basically took him out of the match at Survivor Series that he was supposed to be in, and got replaced by Triple H, which leads to this question, why doesn't Jason Jordan and Bray Wyatt feud? Why didn't they do that? I was wondering that. Let's be honest, they would have done anything to get Jason Jordan popular, even destroying another man's career in the process. Though Vince has already succeeded in doing that after this year alone. After trying to give him crap after crap after crap after crap for the last several years. So, moving on. His final feud, which is still ongoing heading into the new year, is when his last match this year was a few weeks ago, where he would fight Matt Hardy, beat him somehow, surprisingly. I would think because Matt Hardy is from an old era, Vince would have a huge bloated ego and put Matt Hardy over, because he's from an old era and he loves that best. He loves the old wrestlers best and hates anything new. Seriously, ask Brad News Barrett. Though, of course, he can't be called that because Vince hates the fact that he got over, even though he created that idea directly, so even then you're fucked. If you're a created Vince idea or not. So when I heard Bray Wyatt was going to fight Matt Hardy on Raw, I was like, why? Why? Why do this? Matt Hardy hasn't been legally given the broken gimmick yet. And then Matt Hardy was doing, after he beat Matt Hardy just sat in the ring and just yelling out, delete, 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 delete. And I was like, oh dear God, they're really doing this? Oh shit, this is happening! It's really happening! Ah! Though I honestly thought it would happen when Jeff Hardy got back next year. But I was like, oh my God, it's happening, man! Oh my God, it's happening! Quick, everyone, freak out! Freak out! Do not remain fucking calm about this! We need to start marking out for this! And sure enough, it was revealed that TNA had given up. They said, Matt Hardy, keep your broken brilliance. All this is yours. We made a deal with all of our talent and our past talent that any gimmick that we give them or they create, they can keep it. Mostly because we're most likely going to be going under soon, but that's a different matter. So like, oh my God, they're doing it, man! They're doing it! They're doing it! They're doing it! So, yeah. And then Bray Wyatt cuts a promo on Raw via video, and then we see the return of the wicked Matt Hardy, who has finally become woken. No, wait, let me try that again. He is now woken, and thus vows to delete him. And I will get into that legal stuff regarding Matt Hardy and TNA later on, but when I get to Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy and their year in 2017. So, yeah, and on the final Raw, you would think Bray Wyatt would do something awesome, or just have a stare down with Wyatt, or engage in a war of words. Well, he sort of did at the beginning. He cut a promo on Matt Hardy, and then entered the ring. Oh, looks like we're going to get some war of words, and then Matt Hardy attacks him, and Wyatt runs away. That's the way they ended the year with them. On the final Raw, on an episode that really should not have been live and should have just been taped a week prior, so they can spend Christmas with their families, except for Wyatt because his family is no longer talking to him. Yeah, I do not feel like going into that. Wyatt is portrayed running away. See why I say this was Bray Wyatt's worst year ever? I will not mention his real life stuff, but booking-wise and performance-wise, this was Bray Wyatt's worst year ever. He was finally getting this moment where he would make everything for the past few years just look like a horrible, horrible dream. And Vince kills it. He kills it. Like, they wanted to, like, Ryan Ward was trying to get Harper involved so they could make it a triple threat match. That would have given Wyatt much more chance of retaining the title, since, well, apparently Vince doesn't want Randy Orton to lose, so let Luke Harper take the fall. And plus, Luke Harper had every motive to get involved in that match, but they never did it. In fact, even more dumbass why, that Luke Harper, who had a feud with Orton for up until Elimination Chamber, he suddenly starts teaming up with him again. He starts teaming up with him. Even though that wasn't going to make sense. That is when I should have realized, oh dear, Ryan Ward's not running the show, is he, anymore? That's when I should have realized something was going wrong. Like, the minute Luke Harper teamed up with Orton, after everything that they've been through, and it's only been less than a week, when Orton defected, revealed his ruse, that he was just manipulating everything, that's when something should have happened. That's when I should have realized Ryan Ward's no longer running the show, is he? He's being undermined. He's being sabotaged by Vince and his evil Department of Triumvirate. Yeah, that should have been a sign for me that things were going to go wrong. So, yeah. So, Wyatt had possibly the worst year of his career. I'll see him bouncing back from this for a while. And I'm not wishing for it, but sadly, that's the only way it's going to happen, because it has been said numerous times he will not stop. But Vince has to pretty much die for something to happen for Wyatt's career to go upwards. I'm not wishing for Vince to die. I don't want to wish for that. I don't want to. I'm not that sick of a person. Like, I could come up with fucked up storylines for when I write stuff, but I'm not going to act them out in real life. I'm not going to wish people I hate die. Some can be locked up in prison, but that's a different matter. But I can't lock Vince up for being an idiot. That'd be stupid. Royally stupid. I can't arrest a person for being senilely crazy. No. The government can do that on its own when they arrest people for doing acts of charity by giving homeless people food in Florida. I seriously am still pissed off at that when I heard that a few years back. Yeah. So, yeah, Bray Wyatt, I generally don't see where he's going to go after this. After this year, I think it's just done. He either should just walk out, go somewhere else, or just wait till Vince sadly has to kill over so Triple H can take power. That's the only way that's going to go well for Wyatt, or any of a lot of the NXT guys, like Hideo Itami, who's now on the 205 Live division. I refuse to call them cruiserweights, because when I think of cruiserweights, I think of the Cruiserweight Classic. I think of WCW cruiserweights. I think of the original cruiserweights of WWE. So I'm just calling this the 205 Live division, or just the 205 division, because that's the best way to do it, because to Vince, it's just a number to him. So, yeah, Wyatt had, honestly, what I say is the worst year of his career. I don't see how it could get any better from here. Like I said, Vince needs to either step down, or since he refuses to step down, he needs to pass away so Triple H can fix all this stuff. And like I said, I'm not wishing for Vince to die. I just want him to resign. I don't want him to just die and then Triple H can fix all these problems. That shouldn't be what fans want. Yet there are some fans wishing he died, like that one time earlier this year when Vince was said to be in a car accident but came out alright. Some fan I saw, some quote fan, wrote on the internet saying, "Oh man, I was secretly hoping Vince was gonna get killed in that car accident," and people liked his comment. Okay, I get Vince has done stupid freaking stuff, but to wish he died? Like, I'm mad as much as the next guy. I will say I hate the guy as much as the next guy for what he's done for the last several years since his senilism got worse. But to do that? No! So, yeah, Wyatt, this is why I needed to talk about Wyatt. This is why I say Wyatt had the worst year of his career. I'm like, how does he come back from this? He was finally being given the ball, and they just took it from him. And I can't say he should just go back to SmackDown because Ryan Ward's no longer lead writer. It's been given to Road Dogg, and that hasn't been working out well. It's barely doing anything good. So, yeah, I can't hope that Wyatt goes back to SmackDown and think all the problems will be solved then. That's not going to work now. Ryan Ward's no longer in power. And Finn Balor, I'll get to him when I can, but even he can't. He can't go to SmackDown and hope the problems will just be fixed. That's not going to work now. So, Wyatt is in a position where he doesn't win. That's very sad. That this guy had to make a character with Dusty Rhodes because Triple H believed in him, saw something in him. He came up with an idea with Dusty Rhodes. They wrote promos together. And Vince looks at all this and says, fuck you. Fuck you for doing something creative. Fuck these fans for liking it. Fuck your family, no matter how good they were in the past. Fuck them. Oh, we'll say fuck your brother because he got over, so we had Brian bury him. And make up a huge false story because I ordered it to make up a storyline where he's going to get second arm surgery. When really he doesn't do that. He does something that gives him strength back in his arm without surgery that would have ended his career. Much sooner than it did, but that's beside the point. So, yeah, at this point, what's left for Wyatt to do here? He's clearly not going to be treated a priority. He'd be much better off in the Indies. Like, if he can get his character, the Bray Wyatt character, or come up with something similar to Bray Wyatt's character in WWE, but be allowed to be as violent as possible, thanks to the power of the independent scene, then yeah, I say something could work with that. But here in WWE, he would be forced to wait till Triple H took over. And that's really kind of sad that a lot of these guys who want to break the glass ceiling are not being allowed to have the opportunity to break the glass ceiling, and instead reward people who either don't deserve the power to have all this greatness be bestowed upon them, or have people who are past their prime can no longer work at the level they used to be given all this stuff. Or continue pushing the same guy over and over and over and over and over and over and over without any variety to the character whatsoever, without even giving him a chance to really flesh out his personality because he doesn't have one. And when he does have a personality, it goes away after a week because Vince doesn't like that. So, yeah, Bray Wyatt, I want to say best of luck to you in 2018, but after this year, I've just lost all hope. I have lost hope for Wyatt's future. Like, maybe Matt Hardy and him can do something good, since it has been said Matt Hardy's been given creative control over the character, and he could probably work something with Bray Wyatt. But I don't have my hopes up. Vince will try, even though Vince says he has creative control over the Wyatt broken character, I'm pretty sure he's going to make sure Wyatt doesn't have the same luxury. So yeah, Wyatt's stuck. Balor's stuck. All these talented guys who should be being pushed in the main event scene, or at least be upper mid cards, they're not gonna get a shot. So I've just basically lost hope for Bray Wyatt's future. So that was a sad way to end to be his 2017. That this was the year where hope was rising and it plummets to the ground within 49 days. Record. You killed a career within 49 days and just pounded to the ground. in the subsequent following months. I bet Vince feels proud of himself. So, okay, I don't want to talk about Bray Wyatt's 2017 anymore because I'll just get more mad. Okay, so this was my thoughts on Bray Wyatt's 2017. This is the first of many videos I'm planning to produce regarding certain wrestlers' 2017s. Braun Strowman is most likely going to be the next guy since he had the best year of 2017. So, yeah. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. And stay tuned for more. And look forward to more.